All right. That was pretty awesome, I would say, right? Yes. Cool. Well, we are going to head into the Q&A portion of the night. If you're tuning in on live stream, don't forget to hashtag your questions on Twitter with Gnomon. We'll get to as many questions as we can. I know there are already a lot coming in through the internet. I imagine you have a lot on the mind. But before we do this, I need to put spotlight on someone very important, and that is our Director of Placement, Shannon Wiggins. So if I could get her to come up. Shannon does an amazing job of helping get our graduates jobs. So you want to say a few words?
Sure. Hey, everybody. I am super happy to be helping all of the students here that are currently here, and I'm super proud of these guys up here. You've seen amazing work from all these people. They're only a few years out of school, so imagine that. These people, you're part of a small crew. There's probably about 300 graduates now from Gnomon, and everybody is super nice. They're always willing to share with you, and maybe one day you might be working with these folks, so be very nice to them also. But just wanted to say, proud of you guys. Thank you so much for coming. And I'm looking forward to helping all of you out there in the audience.
Thank you, Shannon. Cool. All right, so we're going to start with questions from our live audience. I will come to you with the microphone, so raise your hands.
Hi, I want to say a big thank you for this lecture. It was like big inspiration for, I guess, everyone here. So my question, I will try to keep it really short and, give everyone a chance to say something. So I kind of felt that I have with everyone who, with all of you guys, some common, I'm from Russia, and I came here, from another country, so I have something common with you. And I've never been in military, but my journey started at the quantum physics in a really military university where I couldn't, because my parents kind of was forced me to study there, and so it's kind of started in a really different background. So my question is, I worked in Russia for 5 years in industry. I'm animator. I'm sorry that maybe I'm kind of here alien. And then I said because in Russia it's easier to get in industry because it's not so competitive like here. So, and I studied an animation mentor. Do you know the school? And work in the same time. So I had kind of really time where I almost burned out, but because it was working 24 hours. And then I kind of said to my friends, look, I'm going to LA to get a job, and nobody knew how I will do it because I didn't have any documents. I just came to LA and I found a way how to make documents, and I'm ready to work. So, and then I started to send my resume and my works from school, from my previous, I worked on 2 feature films, on 2 TV shows, 1 feature animation in Russia. Maybe it's not so big, here, but it's still experience. And then I sent 20, 30 resumes, and I didn't get any reply. And then I boom, and it was frustrating for me. It's I started maybe 3-4 weeks ago, and sending, and no reply. And then I think what I'm doing wrong. Maybe I need to go back to school, or maybe I do it's wrong. So it's it's second time in my life, as you said. I need to like put foot in the door because I did it already in Russia, and right now I kind of, feel like what I'm doing wrong, so the question is what advice you can give me, and maybe this story will help, everyone. Thank you very much.
Can I answer that?
Absolutely.
I don't think you're doing anything wrong. And, I hear from students that, they take a class or they graduate and the same stories. I've applied to 30 places and I'm not hearing anything. I know what that feeling is. We all know what that feeling is. When you don't hear back from a company, it's devastating, and you start questioning yourself. I'm like, am I a good artist? Can I do this for a living? It hurts, to be very open with you guys. It's painful. And what you have to do, you have to thicken up your skin. I know that's probably not the best thing to hear, but you have to thicken up your skin, be persistent, and as you're sitting there waiting for that phone call or that email, keep pushing forward, man. Keep making cool stuff for your demo reel. Keep trying to better yourself. Keep trying to update your demo reel. And some places will contact you back and you'll get that, thanks for applying, but we'll keep your demo reel on file. Yeah, I say chalk that up for, hey, at least someone looked at my reel and they emailed me back. Because a lot of places won't even email you back. So I don't think you're doing anything wrong. I say keep pressing forward, stay positive, and keep bettering yourself, man. Yeah.
Yeah, try not to take it too personal.
Yeah,
it's really
tough not to take it personal.
It is tough, but
Yeah.
It's like you said, it's like you have to try to thicken up your skin a little bit. It's just, it's not easy, but you get better at it the more it happens. Sadly enough.
And you have the professional experience. You have that professional experience that you did in Russia. If the quality is there, people are going to notice it at the right place.
I'd also say sometimes, in this modern age, the resumes aren't usually what will get you the job. A lot of it is networking, getting out there.
Yep.
An internship got me started. When I was here at Gnomon, our last semester, there was E3 happening, and we had no access to the convention, but we still went to the after parties afterwards, and we just mingled, introduced ourselves, talked to a bunch of people in the industry, and that turned into a job for one of my other classmates. So sometimes it's just going to conventions, it's the internet, like ArtStation and things, getting yourself published in places. Anything beyond the resume is also a huge help.
Cool. Thank you. All right, this one comes from Twitter, and it actually kind of piggies off that question kind of nicely. I am an unemployed graduate. What is your best tip for self-learning and improving quickly?
Well, obviously, go online and try and find as many tutorials as you can. Also, if you don't lose anything by contacting people that work in the industry. Like, if you have any favorite artists that you like their work and you want to find out stuff, like how they make things, contact them. Don't stalk them. Just send them a message like, "Hey, I'm a student. This is my work. If you don't mind taking a look at it and giving me advice and feedback." I'm sure a lot of people in the industry are really nice, so they will surely respond and maybe give you feedback and teach you a thing or two, and that's really helpful. And then it's also another way of networking. And if they see your work improving, then they could be like, "Oh, this guy takes direction, and look how much better they got, and he's a nice, cool guy." So maybe you could end up becoming friends, and also they can potentially maybe offer you a job too. So don't be afraid to contact people in the industry. That's a really good way also to
Great.
get advice and better.
Wonderful.
But as far as getting better as quickly as possible, I was kind of joking earlier when I was like, you guys have it so easy. If you want to create something or you want to become better at your art, you can find it online. Gnomon is right here, guys. They have online classes here. They have on-campus classes. Pinterest. Don't look Pinterest aside. There's some amazing stuff on Pinterest. It's at your fingertips. It's literally at your fingertips. All you got to do is do some digging. You can't get much quicker than that.
Great.
It's also tricky where I think the quick solution is sometimes a trap, you can't exactly just hope for, putting in a day or a week and just thinking you got it. It's always a lot of hard work, and sometimes it just comes quickly if you're lucky. Usually it does take more time and patience, and sometimes that's the hardest thing. A lot of times I kind of compare this industry to like professional sports, which is weird, but these teams you're trying to get on, these companies, they're the best in the world, and they have the best at what they do. That's your competition. You gotta just bust your ass to compete with that and practice and practice. Ideally, it's what you love doing, and you're doing it all the time anyway, so you'll just get there, and it might take a week if you're lucky, but it'll probably take a month, maybe a little more, and just keep doing it.
Cool. Thanks. All right, we'll take another from our audience here.
I had a question for Servando specifically. My end goal after Gnomon is to work for Blizzard, ironically, as an environment artist.
Nice.
Is there any specific thing you think a student at Gnomon should work on that would help them achieve that goal?
Hi. Okay. So, first of all, wait. Which game? Environment for which game? Oh, okay. Well, obviously, you need to practice your hand painting skills. That's the first and most important thing, because companies, specifically Blizzard too, they like to see that you're interested in their work and that you blend into their style. Because if your style is already at the quality level as what we're producing, that means you would be potentially a safe hire, because you would blend in perfectly into the pipeline. You wouldn't need a lot of training. And if they can imagine grabbing your work that you're producing right now and putting it in the game and it works, then they're like, oh, this guy's good. Definitely that would get you at least an interview, and then it would depend all on your personality and if they like you, Yeah, no problem.
Great. All right, this next question comes from Twitter, and it's for James. What do you look for when checking a 3D props or environment reel? Any tips on standing out?
Good question. I think that one thing is on a demo reel, if you're wanting to be a modeler, is show varying styles. I think that's going to, like I said, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get at least one piece to catch a person's eye. So in having, I think, a bit of that variety, it can help. And showing different styles, like I'm saying, have some hard surface, have some organic, have some environment. I mean, if you can do a combo, have a little bit of environment with a character on your reel, you've killed two birds with one stone in one little segment of your reel. I think that's helpful.
Great. Thank you, James.
Yep.
All right, do we have anyone here? Yes, have one in the back.
Hey guys, first of all, thank you, all of you. Your stories are very inspiring. The persistence and just seeing you as a living example, further ahead the road, for self-improvement and persisting and working on bearing your skills. It's just awesome to see you, the finished result of that is it's possible, it works. My question is for James. I just want to know what's your, can you please talk about the aspect of discipline and, again, persistence from your, I think, for some reason, I think your military background can, add some kind of a structure to your work. So, especially you said, you had to do a lot of stuff during the day, going to school and work at the same time. It was, huge loads of work. So, just what's your method of pushing, tricking your brain into pushing,
pushing
you
myself.
think this is the most you can do, but pushing to the more during the day hour or so?
I think it's just that constant wanting to always try to do my best. I do put a lot of pressure on myself. I try to, with everything, I try to do the best quality I can do. Especially because I'm an instructor here, that adds even more stress to it. I teach 3 classes here, so if I'm working at some place or I'm applying at a place and I'm working there, I feel like I have that reputation I need to keep. I need to keep in mind places that I've worked in the past. It's really that just inner focus. The military is a big part of it, though. To be seriously honest with you, it's knowing. If you've been in the military, you know about the mission. It's all about the mission, and you do whatever it takes to accomplish that mission. And that's how I see it. I had a goal in mind, and I just keep running towards it. And if I'm not a person who thinks that I know it all, I might be contacting the guy sitting next to me or someone I used to work with, and trying to pull from every resource I can to get to that goal. So it's just keeping that focus, and of course, don't run yourself ragged, don't kill yourself, take breaks. The 3 hours of sleep thing, it was extremely intense. But I think, it's just a self-discipline that you really have to do for yourself. When I was going through the Gnomon program, there's a lot of times when the class was like, yeah, man, we're going out, we're going to go bowling, or we're going to go to the bar, or we're going to go do this. And I'm like, sorry, I can't go. I have to go do this. And I want to spend time with my wife. So there were times when I would try to hang out with them because I knew it was a good experience. That bonding experience is extremely, extremely important. But I had an end goal in mind. And because I got into this industry a lot later than... I think I got into Gnomon when I was, how old was I? Like 32, 34? So I was like the old guy in class. So you can imagine, I have all these young people in the class with me, and I'm like, oof, man, we're running the same marathon, and these guys are in shape, and I got to keep up. I want to reach that goal line. So I think that also, too, was something that helped push me forward.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, this next one's from Twitter for everyone. I'm a CG generalist with 12 years of experience using Cinema 4D and looking to expand my horizons into film. What's the best software for effects and environment artwork? Should I learn Houdini?
I would say yes. Houdini is a very powerful software. It'll definitely help. It's something that we use at ILM. Not only we also have proprietary software, but Houdini is a definite big plus for effects work. For environment work, that can greatly vary. I'd say Maya is still probably the most commonly used software. Again, there are some strange ones out there that use 3ds Max. We happen to be one of them. So, but I'd say if you can learn Maya, you can pick up the other ones as well. So that would be my answer for that.
Great. Thank you. All right, do we have any more here on stage? Yep.
Thank you guys again for coming out. Much appreciated. My question is for all of you, and it's whether it's one, how much creative flexibility do you guys have in your various positions, either as a modeler or a texturer, to go outside of parameters you might be given? And if you find yourselves in a rut, do you have any favorite ways to kind of get yourself out of that, creatively speaking?
What's the second half of the question? So, what was the second half of the question?
Getting out of the rut. How much flexibility do you have in your job?
Cool.
Well, personally, in my experience, one of the things I really like about Blizzard is that there's, it's not crazy free, but there is a lot of flexibility in what you do. Especially when we're working on a zone, they'd be like, okay, we need a tree and a bush or whatever, and then it's all up to us, the creative team and the environment team, to come up with, what are these going to look like? And we sometimes do get concepts to go from, but most of the times it's us deciding color palette and shape of bushes and stuff, or plants or trees, and that I've done a couple of concept art pieces for some of the zones, and some of them have gotten approved, and I've gone on and done my own concept, and it's really cool. It feels really gratifying just to see those type of situations going on, and it really does.
I am very fortunate. We get all the freedom in the world, basically. We get to do some concepting. Sometimes we do get concepts from the art department as well, but most of the time we take those as a jump-off point. I'm like, oh, that sounds good, but hey, maybe I can do this, and it's great. I get to do modeling, texturing, look deving, pretty much the whole gamut to even pre-comp. So yeah, it's pretty awesome.
I've had both sides of the spectrum where when I was making that chip for the Halo cinematic, it had to be spot on. It's an asset that has existed in another world. It's something that people recognize, and it's potentially a product if you look at it that way. So, it has to be exact. When I was doing previs and I get concept art, I'd have to make that look just like the concept art. But that's one angle. Every other angle was up to me, as long as it fit the needs of the shot. And then when it comes to when I've blown up buildings, they just say, make a missile hit it. Everything else is up to me. If I'm going to have floors fall and stack on one another and desks tumble out, making those calls. With the environment art that I've done so far, it's been kind of a happy medium where there's some stuff that needs to be pretty exact, and there's other things where they kind of just give a vague description and they say, just make it cool. So it really depends.
Like you said, it really depends on where you work, what the project is. When working at Disney, they have a very specific look that they go for, and that was a part of being in the talent development team. It was them trying to see if you could get into that Disney groove, that stylized look. So as far as flexibility, there is some there, but then there's going to be times when you have dailies or you have a session with the art directors. They're going to help guide you in that direction. And then there's times when you're doing a review and you may have 6 to 8 people literally standing behind you or looking at your work, and you have effects and you have lighting and you've got the texture department and you have your modeling department is in there, and everybody is, kind of helping focus your end goal. It's really, really cool when you're in that environment because you get to see how big this is. It's just not you and your lead or just you. I mean, it's cool to have that flexibility and doing what you want to do, but when there's that super focused direction that everybody is shooting towards and everyone is so on it to try to help you get there, it's a really cool experience. And with all of us, I think we all have done something, and then there's that point of doing revisions. Well, you almost hit it, but you know what? Let's try another stab at it, and then another stab, and another stab, and another stab. And then that's also another opportunity. Like I say, guys, thicken up your skin. Don't take it personal. They want something that they've envisioned, and it's our job to meet that. As far as getting out of a rut in modeling or anything. I think if you're in a rut, because I think we all have seen there's certain concepts that they kind of all start looking the same. I would say go off in another direction. If you're always doing monsters and creatures, or maybe try to go Disney style. That's what I'd say. Totally just think outside the box. Even if it's not something you would want to do, you might learn a technique that could work towards that other direction.
Yeah, actually, I actually was in that situation not that long ago. If you do environments day in and day out, you kind of get a little burnt out after a while. There's only that many buildings you can do. So I actually did personal work. I did a character, which I did one in Gnomon, and God, that was awful. So that was fun. It was going back into sculpting, doing organic modeling that way, or and I started picking up Houdini. I started doing some effects work on the side. Just something different. I also did a 101 Dalmatian series. Never done animation style before. Yeah, so anything different to just refresh your mind, reset that is tremendously helpful.
All right, thank you. This next question is for Sonia. Sorry, I lost it. How does the entertainment environment work for women? Are there job possibilities for female artists from Brazil?
Is there job stability?
She wants to know first how the environment is for women, the work environment in this industry, and then if there are job possibilities for female artists from Brazil.
So the first question, yes, it's we're definitely in the minority. We'll say that. But I think every studio welcomes females to the workplace because everybody knows that as soon as a female is in the office, everybody behaves better. So, let's just keep that in mind. So, all in all, I think it is very supportive. I don't think there's a problem with that, which is nice. Sometimes you do get the feeling that you have to work a little bit harder, but at the end of the day, I think sometimes that, be careful with that. I think it's mostly in our own head. I definitely didn't feel that way any place I've been. So I think you're good there. Flexibility, job opportunities. Again, I think if your work is strong, if your passion is there, you will not have a problem.
Great. Thank you.
And there is a women's in animation group.
Oh.
So if you're a female and you're wondering, are there people, other women out there in the industry, there is like a formal group, Women in Animation.
Wonderful.
So check that out.
Great. Thank you. Anyone else here on stage want to throw one out there?
All right, so just again, thank you guys for coming out here. And I guess this is really just a question for any of you. One, just being that I just started school for game design, is there anything that you guys really recommend that I try and focus on over the next couple of years? Anything that, you wish you had paid attention to more while you guys were in school, wish you really tried more on? Anything that, you really, you thought, oh, this isn't that important, I'll never need that, and now you're like, I really wish I actually learned that. And one other thing, as far as job stability goes, I know it's not exciting to expect, right after graduation, but down the line, is it something you guys see more of? Because I see you guys talking a lot about how you'd start a project and then immediately be pretty much looking for other work. Is there really any sense of job stability down the line, or as far as that goes?
Go ahead, guys.
Okay, so you said you wanted to work for games?
Yeah.
Okay.